Yeah, hi all. Very good evening. Welcome to HRSatsang. HRSatsang is an informal discussion podium for different kinds of people management topics and HR related topics we have been conducting. And today we are coming up with a wonderful topic which is currently trending also, which is stress and how to utilize the stress and make it as our strength also, of course. Because HR is meant to manage the people to have their workplace harmonious, as well as to maintain the stress and how to overcome the stress. These are all the major points we speak about. So stress is not a very new word which we are listening today. It has been a buzzword, we can say, in the IT world majorly, and in all the other industries also. So how the stress, I mean, gets caused in the people, because we spend more of the working hours in office, maybe in the workplace, we can say. So how the stress is caused and how to overcome the stress and how to make it as our strength, that is what today's topic is going to be. So I'm going to hand over this to Ram. He is going to speak on the topic, right? Please, Ram.
Yeah, good evening all of you.
Good evening.
Stress at the workplace. So stress has got different dimensions, and if we talk about it, stress management, stress is the biggest, negative word that we are looking at. So I have been invited for many of the organizations to manage the stress. How do you manage the stress management sessions and everything? Any of the leadership programs or training programs that we conduct, people usually ask, this is also one part of it. So everybody has accepted that there is a stress, acknowledged and accepted and recognized stress is there, that is causing some productivity issues. So that is where people are more concerned about it. So stress, let us try to understand this stress concept at workplace. There are three kinds of stress that we can talk about: physical, mental, and behavioral. There are three different kinds of stresses. So generally, more people are focusing on the output or outcome when it is getting affected. People are so concerned about it. So mental and behavioral aspects that people are looking at these things. So people are more concerned about it. And nowadays, it is one of the core element in terms of the well-being of the individuals or employees, you can say. So companies are people officers. Now people are calling them as a people officers, chief people officer, or managing the people resources. They're calling them as not human resources, people. So when they are acknowledging these are all the human beings, and definitely the stress needs to be managed or to be addressed well, so that it takes part of the well-being to the next level. So that is what is the idea. So today we took up this particular topic. There are many reasons are there. These days we are getting a lot of stress-related suicides. It is going up to that level of the negative extremes that it is going. So that's where it needs to be addressed properly. So in this session, we'll try to understand what is the stress, how it is causing, and what are the practices to reduce this, and how the well-being can be taken in a better way. So we'll talk about the more related to the practice level kind of things. So when it comes to stress, the physical stress is nothing but the long hours that we are spending, right? And stress is also causing a lot of the workload which is getting into. Basically, the physical stress is long hours, or maybe work from home or work from hybrid models and other things is causing some kind of a stress it is coming into. That is a physical level, we may call it as a strain, and stress is one thing which is of a mental and behavioral. So mental stress is, it is about the workload, the complexity, or the expectations are very high. There is no clarity about the job role, right? So many things are causing the mental stress. The behavioral stress, which is coming as output, productivity related things, are causing productivity is coming down, right? Frustration. These are behavioral or nothing but the outcomes of the mental stress, what is causing. So that irritation, unable to understand, unable to focus, missing the deadlines, right? All these things are happening, and because of that, there's a lot of absenteeism which is causing more number of times. And you can easily understand by seeing the behavior of the people that people are mostly there into absenteeism is the first symptom. The person doesn't show up to the office more frequently, is taking leaves and other things which are happening. The causes could be sick and other things that people would put it across to, and there is a lot of absenteeism will be there. So these are all the outcomes of the behaviors comes from the employees, so that we can understand that there is a stress that is going. So nowadays there is a lot of people are going for the well-being. There is a employee relations is a department where people are calling the counselors and other people to address the stress aspects. And there are people are also gauging the stress coefficient also in the organizations these days. Very scientifically that people are going with. And there is a counseling and to the extreme related rehabilitations also getting into it. More of these stress is causing a lot of ill health, diabetes, um, the spondylitis, then migraine, a lot of BP, blood pressure. So all these things are causing the ill effects that are coming on the physical level that stress is causing to the employee space. So it has become so much of the productivity is losing. So employers are more concerned about the productivity and well-being of the employees. So this is the background with which we need to look into. So these things, there are many other causes are there which are coming into mostly about the work related load balancing, work life balance. So all these things are causing. Okay. So let us discuss further. If you have any specific questions, please pose, as we other members are also there here in the podium. So let's discuss about that. And if you have any questions, let's exchange our views. What is happening or not? We'll discuss further. Okay. Yeah. Please.
Good evening, everyone. So my question is, when I was working, people have stress. The main aspect I have observed is they don't express this stress to their managers or colleagues. Even if they express to the colleagues, it doesn't go to the higher level. So
Mm.
once in case that if we explain our stress to the higher level, it is considered as that we are not perfect. That is why we are taking the stress. And even
Mm.
if we convey that, then the manager or the higher management team they may consider that this person is not fit for so and so role, so that the new projects or new role cannot be given to that particular employee. I
Mm.
have undergone that, and even I have taken a lot of loads, but I couldn't express that. I have expressed within my colleagues, but not to my manager, which has
Right.
caused health issues even to me. Sometimes it has come out in a way of anger also to the manager. We speak rude with the managers, or we behave rude with the managers or the higher team. It has happened with me.
Mm. Correct,
So
correct.
expressing stress is very important so that we don't behave in a bad manner with the colleagues or managers. That is important. What I think,
You,
expressing stress is important.
you'll not show up the
Uh,
frustration or irritation, and you
Conveying.
don't know how to express that anger, anguish. A lot of things comes in a mixed feelings that will come, so that your helplessness also shows up very high, and there is a raise also will looks into, and you may be termed as, or you may be considered as an arrogant or something
Arrogant, unproductive.
negative. That is also that causes a negative effect for your job, progress, career progress also. You are right, absolutely. Generally, this happens because the employee is not able to express because of the environmental suppression. Mostly, it causes in the workplace. It is because of the environmental suppression, because there is no open door policy. What happens? There is a fear factor is there, and there is a job insecurity is there. If I express freely to a particular manager, how they will take it up, and what is the repercussions could be? Will I be victimized? So this is the it is not the forerunner, it is the back runner on this particular stress is causing because of that. But this can be solved as a people managers. What we need to HR people that we can do is, we can put it across. You need to create such an environment in your work culture. What is a work culture? The common beliefs and common practices is called work culture. So that culture can be built up in such a way so that people can freely express their expressions in a right way. That is where your you can express about your stress levels to the levels actually that people can understand. Not actually it is a stress, but it is about something that you would like to express, which you are not able to do that. That's where stress is causing. Okay, that is the root cause. So environment need to be definitely it needs to be understood, and environment need to be balanced in a right way. That needs to be done. Yeah, Lavanya, you want to say something?
Yeah, as rightly Monica and you also have expressed the same. On the floor, when you are feeling like there is a kind of stress being built, then I think we can take an action. But at the same time, as a HR, the very first thing we need to see is we need to have an observation towards the people, like how they are behaving. Majorly, the behavior itself is the first thing which can show us that this person is facing some kind of difficulty. It could be an unproductivity from that person, or it could be a kind of rude behavior, or it could be complete silence also sometimes.
Absenteeism.
Yes, absenteeism.
Easily, behavioral aspects will clearly show up that whether the person is in stress or.
Yes.
So firstly, fundamentally, Lavanya, you raised a wonderful. Proactively, the HR people should be able to find out because they are the custodians of the work culture.
Absolutely.
Something is going on, right? So when they are sniffing it, when they smell that particular thing, immediately they need to put an observation to that. So what happens is you try to understand their absenteeism, their behavior, their silence, or their frustration or something, whatever the odd behavior that you are getting it. Probably we can call them and we'll try to understand that it could be because of the manager or the workload or any personal issues that are going, which might be causing stress to them at the workplace. Also, they are not able to handle properly because work-life balance is very important. They can't leave the organization. I mean, they can't leave the work, and they can't take care of the family also because there is a lot of friction that goes into which needs to be given priority. In what way that needs to be given? Can I say that I need to go for a family function, but important project which is going on? Manager has already told that, hey, from the next 1 week, you please don't ask me any kind of leaves and all. I cannot put it across. Suddenly, that the moment or on that particular day, one employee wants to ask for a leave for a festive or some family gathering or something, which is very priority for them. It's very rarely that that occasion comes, and this person is very so excited that he would like to go for that. By listening the statement, he becomes disappointed. That onwards, so the stress is getting built up. How to convey to manager that I would like to go for a leave? So there is some kind of a courage that they need to take care of it, and their role can be completed in a good amount of time. And then how this can be managed better so that the person can take a leave. So this open communication, the courageous communication need to come. Mostly, as you rightly said, the behaviors that needs to be understood proactively, and the HR needs to address those things and also give every time, I mean, some kind of informal meetings or skip level meetings or whatever that we are conducting. We need to counsel them and we need to make them to understand how to communicate these things. That works much better.
Monica, I think.
I have a point here. So one thing is that HR are not always on the ground among the team. So the HR department itself is sitting some other corner.
Correct.
So the employees are always under the surveillance of the manager or lead or some other project manager, whoever the senior people. So
Right.
I think the main person or the main surveillance would be under the lead or manager. So the manager or the lead has to uh, take that lenience to observe how the employees are working, how their stress levels are. If they observe that one particular employee is having a lots of load, though let's say that two employees are having same kind of load, but one employee can take the load very well, the other employee cannot take the load well because of the other circumstances and other
Correct.
situations.
Yes.
One
Right.
employee can work for long hours, go home and work back, but other employee cannot go home back and work for long hours like till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock.
Mm.
So I think HRs are to be made to sit near the employees with the team. At least one or two employees have to sit with the team, because now the corporate is such a big thing that like an other employees more than 100 or 200, even HRs are like 100 or 200 employees for every department. So we have to make that HR shouldn't be sitting in a other corner, or it shouldn't be made a separate cabin for the HRs. Let one or two HRs sit with the employees, observe the employees' behavior, take all the records of each employee. Let the HR communicate with every employee. The HR's work is only to communicate, observe, see their performance, see their look into their grievances and all. It's not like we write a mail and we're writing a mail to the HR so to look into the grievances, and we're getting the feedback, or we are getting the reply after a week. So this will be looked into back, and that emails goes on rolling. Please look into it to that manager, to tagging the other manager, tagging the other managers, and by that time we will be leaving the company.
That causes another stress.
Yes.
So I'll give you two solutions. Swaraj will let me give a quick answer for this, and then
Sure.
I'll take you.
Sure, sir.
So the thing is, there are two ways of making an open communication for this. There's a solution that we can say. Yes, of course, HR has a limitations. HR cannot be everywhere. All pervasive is not possible, right? So the one thing is managers, team management or a people management training need to be given to the team managers, basically people who are managing the. Generally, what is happening in the organizations is only based on the technical and functional skill sets and the experience, people are being promoted, not based on the people skills. That's where we are raising our flag and saying that you don't just promote based on that particular qualification itself. If they are doing very good, actually put them across in the silos, or maybe make them to work on the independent contributors. But if people are getting some kind of promotions and all, please do train them on the people management skills. One of the aspects is how to handle the stress part. Most of the people will think that people management skills means functionally, when I have to administratively and functionally, then I have to take care of it. Only conflicts, as you rightly said, conflicts might come, or leaves, or some functional, or whatever the administrative related authorities that they need to execute, or delegate the work to the people. To that extent only people are thinking like that. But others, like this workload balance or work life balance, or proactive identification of the team and the well-being part, they are not being trained on, and they don't know also much. So that is where people are failing, and the entire organization is also losing on that part. So that's where we are suggesting that people managers, let the managers become people managers. That is the training that needs to be given to them. That is the first and foremost solution, very important. The second thing is, what is the open door policy? As you rightly said, emails, escalations, and all. Let's not have it. Let's have a peer touch. That's what people are saying. Human touch. So you please make such kind of a policy that they can be, because of the tools, technologies, whatever are there. Don't make it too hierarchical, mails and all these things. Don't raise it as a conflict. See, conflict, I don't know whether you know it or not, conflict or resolution, or when it is going to grievance level, there are many other layers are there actually. When it is becoming a grievance, it's too high. It's a high degree of the things. Conflict is also one of the lesser degree to that. Whatever we are talking right now, the stress which is getting caused by is the lowest and basic level of things. It starts and stems from that particular thing. When that is there, you have a mechanism of communication, then that can be addressed very well. So these days, there is nothing that you cannot reach to HR people and they cannot make it out. And HR people also need to take responsibility of human touch, and they need to take care of it without having all these, what I can say, bureaucratic hierarchies, complaining. There is a process and all this thing. Nothing to it. And this is a priority. Let's have a out of the box thinking and try to solve those things. These two things that we can do. A mechanism of reaching HR very quickly is the second. The first one is making the team managers as a people managers. Train them on. These two things can give a better solution for the large spans of the company. And HR might not be sitting across in the local, of course, local person could be one or two people. HR business partner will be there, but corporate office will be having a lot of other people. So how do you reach them? Right? Telephones are there, video calls are there, that we can go for that. Skip level also that we need to encourage. That's where I'm saying you need to have your culture book clearly. And when the people are joining itself, if you have any kind of a problem, there is open door policy is there. You can reach up anytime. You can knock the door of HR and you can put it across to. You will be taken confidentially. And if you are not, if you are taking it in a different way, they will counsel you. They'll say that, no, you see in a different perspective. Still you have a problem. I'm there for you. I'll keep these informations very confidential. Or if you have any problem and all, I'll look into it and I'll take care of your manager or whatever the problem that is causing the source can be addressed very properly. That is how well-being of the people can be taken. Okay. Yeah. Swarachish, I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Like when coming for the stress management in office, like whenever in my organization, when I was in the US healthcare sector, just my manager used to be moving on floor with the employees. He used to have a conversation. Like whenever he will be checking with us, I used to, what happened, sir? Sir, I was not feeling well. Kya hua? Little bit stressed, sir. Okay, chalo, come to my cubic. Let us have some discussion. He used to keep along, not only for me, for each and every employee. He used to make to sit besides of him, and he used to do his work. So literally, we used to take a rest of 5 to 10 minutes. Sir, I will go back and start my working. Okay. If it is exceeding that, then I use it to ask, sir, I'm not feeling well. I want to leave. I will be leaving a 1 hour or 2 hours of early. Okay, now you can go. The next day morning, with very excitement. Okay, chalo, I need to complete my work as soon as possible. Just that's it.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is that our HR, he used to keep moving on the floor. There were 260 employees who have been working on the floor. Whenever after like first break, like around after 2 hours of working hour, he used to keep on interacting with the employees. How is your work going on? What are you doing? How is your life? What did you have today? Is it going good? Are you feeling anything stressed? If you are feeling stressed, let us go for a walk. Let us move on the floor here and then let us have discussion. That way they used to support us in our organization. So we didn't get any chance of having like stress or burnouts there. They used to handle it very well. Or they use it to like in every weekend they use it to organize fun Fridays, half day, or else on Saturdays and Sundays they used to organize outside sports like outdoor sports like cricket, indoor sports like carom board. Every day they used to organize that. So we will be having no stress, everything else. But we used to have the targets which will be completed by the end of the day.
Correct.
This is the thing what they used to do in the organization.
Nice.
Yeah, I have a question here.
Please.
The question is that recently, like most of the organization have been looking for the short-term solutions for the stress management, like wellness workshops or team building activities. Like, do we have any solutions for the long-term stress fixing or long-term wellness? Is there any option for that part?
Right. So actually, the long term, when we are talking about it, again, I'll come to the culture and the communication.
Yep.
So kind of see how the stress stems up. Why stress gets caused at the workplace? It is because of the unsolicited expectations and too much of the workload. The balance is not possible, and to a very less time, too much of work to be completed, and things are not in my hand. I need to get from somebody that is which is very uncertain, and I'm getting a lot of follow up from my other side of it. So I'm getting helpless. I don't know what to do. I'm not a decision maker. When I'm not a decision maker, I need to take, this needs to be taken further and I have to do, but I'm responsible for conducting the work. So the decision making empowerment was not being done. So these things are causing a lot of stress related sources basically. Very thin layer of what I can call soft texture of the humanly the communication part of it. It can be addressed with the fantastic communication clarity that we are providing it for. Then that can be taken in a right way, and that is the permanent solution. Not a permanent one-time solution is not there. It is a constant practice. It is journey. You need to address the journey. You don't know what kind of things or situations will stem up, right? So we are not talking about that. So we cannot say that 100% this can be taken care of it. And once it is done, yeah, you're no question of stress at all. No, that situation will not be there. It is to be managed. So that's what stress management that people will say that. It is again, it is individual. Like Monica, she told during her last question. So she shared that somebody will be very much capable enough to handle that differently, and somebody else will do that because he's brought up, his personality, right? All these things individually, his skills also matters a lot. Right? I don't care about what is happening over there. This is what is the situation is there. This is what I told you. I'll not take any kind of a step. Somebody else will be there. Other person will be there. He's taking it personally. Things are not happening. Tomorrow I'll be blamed. I may get victimized. My job insecurity. There are a lot of things that are coming in. So that causes a lot of stress related things. Those things that needs to be taken care of, and there is a constant practice of this thing need to be done. It's a constant practice, and make it as a part of culture. Common beliefs and common practices is called culture. So you take it that communication is the best strength that you can take to handle it, not to percolate down, and it is not becoming a grievance. It's not growing much. So early identification and early, like Lavanya madam told, so early identification and early mitigation of the stress things that they can do. And as you rightly said, there are stress busters are also there, as you have told. So giving some kind of a employee engagement as part of employee engagement part of it, and fun Fridays, something else which are causing for those things. That's a good practices that you can bring it into. Yeah, Lavanya, please.
Yes, Ram. So far that topic is going very good. I would like to add certain points here. Like we've already been discussing about the same thing. Like stress is one of the point. For a particular person, what is his stress level and how much he can take. At the same time, we need to identify. I mean, understand certain things. Here is HR is not only the person that can reach to everybody at the same time, right? As Ram also has supported the point, like managers need to be people managers. That means becoming a manager is not just doing his work and along with his team he has to run all the way, but he has to understand the troubles of the team, he has to speak to each of them, he need to be a people person. That means he is half a HR for his team first, and if the thing is going beyond his limitations, then only it reaches to the HR. If the employee is reaching to HR overboarding this manager, that means there seems some kind of issue with the manager himself. Then we will be going there to conduct a kind of research also what's happening on the floor and all. So at the same time, every manager should have one of the criteria for selection itself, that how his people management or team management skills are. In case if he is not having, because of the experience, because of the years of service with the company, he got promotion, then we need to train him, we need to suggest him to get undergo this kind of training. Like he need to know how to manage the people, what kind of communication he need to have, how to lead the team, as an example. So these kind of points if we add, that will add some more value for that, which will help us to maintain this stress as a HR across the floor. If we have to maintain, then we need to have all these people's support from all the ends. I think that is one more point that that needs to be focused more here.
Yeah, I mean, we have to discuss about the remote work people and their stress also. We'll discuss about that. Before getting into that point, Swarajish is having one point. Yes, please.
Sir, the question is that how we can train the leaders to identify stress in their teams and respond to them. Do they need to get anything trained, especially like leaders like managers or the supportive members or whom we are reporting as an employee, or the team members, the leaders? Is there anything like, do they need to get trained to identify the stress signals in their teams or in the person whom they are working, rather than putting them under the pressure?
Yeah, yeah. Definitely there is a very scientific approaches are there, Swarajish, to identify the stress and to address it in the right way. Early identification signs will be there. There are symptoms that shows up like absenteeism, the productivity downfall, These are all the symptoms that shows up. Then we can go dwell into that. That's where people management skills under that whatever that we are discussing till now. So in that, during the team management, compulsory this the skill of assessing the degree of the stress what the people are taking into, and the counseling skills are also very important. See, I mean, as Monica said that people will say that I mean, I don't have any. Do you have any stress? Of course, HR is making rounds in the floor. Hey, sorry, Chish. I think you only told about that.
Yes, sir.
On the floor, HR is coming up. Hey, do you have anything at all? So he says that no, nothing. It becomes a routine for them, and as it is becoming too routine, too much of routine and the monotonous or the mundane job, then people won't be that much. Don't take it that serious. Actually, these are all the behavioral nuances where people needs to be taken into consideration. That's where we want them, they don't want to open up on the floor. It is their innate feeling. That might not be true also. So people don't want to get exposed. Always people say that, I'm very much fine with that particular thing. So I don't have any kind of a problem. By showing that, yeah, you may, the HR person also may talk to his head saying that, no, there is no problem. I already asked people, but they don't have any kind of a problem. I was there on the floor. Nothing is there. But underlyingly something is happening. So don't make it everything exposed, everything at the cubicles itself. There should be some kind of a closed door rooms, and there should be some kind of a discussion that needs to happen. People are talking about open culture kind of concern. When it comes to people related behaviors and all, you need to have a closed door policy also.
Yes. Still, they have a fear
You
also.
have to have an open door policy. There should be a door to
Yes.
close, because they don't want the other people to get exposed. Before them, they don't want to get exposed.
Yes.
There's a lot of confidentiality and there is a lot of sensitivity aspects might be there. Probably the person himself might be thinking wrong. So then HR need to take an avatar like a counselor and to say that, hey boss, you are thinking something different. Why don't you think like this? You're probably your manager is so concerned about the team's growth. You're also part of it. By and large, so it is causing a problem to you individually. But by and large, people might be having this thing, right? So that could be. Yes, please respond.
Monica.
So, sir, I think in this stress management, employees and the management are equally important. See, if any employee is facing any stress, the first thing the employee has to do is to convey. Because the employee himself or herself taking a lot of loads and then blaming the management is also not right. Yes, the management is important to look after the employee's welfare is good, but the fear comes of the job, as you said rightly that every employee is in the fear of a job, maybe losing of job, because every employee has had a financial crisis or financial issue because their house has to run. So I think the policies are to be in such a way that making an employee also equally responsible if they have to speak out if they are facing any stress management issues, so that the workload can be divided or segregated to the other. Maybe first 1 week the other employee can take, next 1 week the other employee can share the workload. And that is the first point. And second point I wanted to know is, as an employee, we think of an HR, if we have any grievances, we first think of a lead. We go to lead and express. Even if the lead is not listening to us, we go to the manager. This was my hierarchy in my company. And even if the manager is not so listening to me, I go to the HR. But then again, there is a concern to which HR I have to approach to. Is it that HR BP or HR manager, and the HR team is sitting some other place, totally out of Telangana. So conveying my grievance or concerns to the HR who is sitting out of city over a call or over a mail or over a video call is also difficult, because the HR doesn't know what is happening exactly on the ground level.
It's a kind of
So,
vulnerability, yes, they face. Yeah.
Actually,
and So one last point I would like to add. Even if let's say that even if I go to the manager or HRBP, I say my concern. So what happening is the HR will listen to me, but the response will again first go to the team lead or team manager saying that so and so person from your team has raised this concern. Do you think that the employee has raised the right concern or not? So what the leader manager will do? They again the leader manager will come back to me saying that why did you complain this way? If you had an issue, you would have come to me. We would have managed that. So the leader manager also doesn't want that concern to be gone to the HR. That has to be resolved in between them.
So
I have
that's
seen such cases also.
there are certain communication protocols that needs to be taken into consideration. Do you know that there is a MNCs, most of the big companies, they are having such kind of a very good protocols. We call them as a best practices. That is where every organization, as it is getting matured and more number of people are joining and teams are increasing, and there is a lot of productivity that needs to come. At a time, all the people need to work, and their collaborative aspects itself will we can achieve the goals of the organization. So this is the very top level. I mean, mota at the superficial level. This is what we need to take care of it, and which is a practical also. At that time, you need to have that communication protocols also within the teams. What is that needs to be taken care? The person who is responsible, as you rightly mentioned, if it is coming back to you, if it is coming back to the concerned department itself, so the hierarchy needs to be kept like that. So it is not that why you have complained to a particular person. You need to have a sense of it, because person is feeling vulnerable, person is feeling insecure, person doesn't want to go to talk to their team manager. So that's where they would like to, they skipped them and they came to HR, and HR is responsible to maintain that employee relations part. So when the
Right.
organization itself is having such kind of an understanding that anything other than the work related aspects, let the HR handle that. Employee relations people, let them handle that. Any other things related to work or something else is there, of course, in collaboration with the person, not that. So tomorrow, nobody will corner you saying that why you have complained. It's not about a complaint; it's a concern. Raising, see, you are using a word, the bigger and high degree word that is a grievance. No, it's a concern. It's a conflict is next level. Then is the grievance. So don't use the grievance for everything. So people don't know that. You need to educate them like this. We need to awareness that we need to create, and we need to talk to people, and we need to create that kind of a culture. That is what is the employee relations people that they will do. These are all the soft related things. You don't have any specifically, you cannot categorize, and you cannot show up that I have done this much of work, and all. You cannot show that. It's a quality. It's not a quantity that you can show. Okay. So you are managing that particular thing. So that's where you need to have a communication protocol. That protocols that manager must be knowing about it in the department. Employee also must be knowing about it. And the HR person also must be knowing about it. And they need to respect that particular flow. Then things will happen in a better way. So most of the premium organizations or the big organizations, they're following the protocols, communication protocols, they follow that. That's where your employee handbook is written out there. For what? Employee handbook has an excellent role to play in any organization. People take it so light, and people will think that only the policy related information is good enough for them. No, code of conduct, complaints, grievances, now the posh policy, gender inequality, there's a partiality, nepotism, favorism. So many problems are there.
Favorism is main concern.
So that's why.
So
So
I got the one thing. I had some one funny incident in my first job, but I'll share it later. Let I'll
yeah.
share it later.
Okay. We'll share that later. Yes, Swaraj, please. You want to
So,
add?
when coming for the culture, work culture in organization, is it possible for an organization like either it might be MNCs or like a startup companies, is it possible for them to create a work culture where an employee can share their feelings regarding stress or something else? Is it possible for the organization to create a part in as a work culture there?
Yes, it is quite possible, Swarajesh. It is quite possible. The only thing is management's commitment and management's assurance is very much needed, because all these things are strategic when it comes to the organization. So they will be driven from top to down, top to bottom. So the top level people need to understand that, oh, these type of feelings also will be there. These kind of problems also will be there. It's not a big problem, yeah. Is the big problem actually? We need to address that. I don't think so. Why we need to have all this? No, boss. These things are very, very sensitive. These are all seems to be. We cannot quantify that, but this causes a lot of things. I'll tell you one thing. If anybody has been taken out and terminated, if you are not explaining on the floor or you're not announcing that particular thing in the organization, it will be taken differently and the grapevine will go in a different way. And the organization has to face a lot of reputation issues. So there is a lot of unrest, there is a lot of job insecurity, there is a lot of productivity down because you are not taking, because you have authority, you have taken a decision, but you are not feeling the employees are also a part to it and they need to be known first. They need to know the reason. So you can say that on the grounds of misconduct, all right, on the grounds of unexpected, I mean, what I can say, non-expected behavior, or whatever the line, that code of conduct that they are crossing. So that's where those people were being taken and punished. Please don't think otherwise. But if you are following your things and all, nothing to worry about it. So don't feel bad about it. But this is what is, unfortunately, this was happened actually. So please consider this and acknowledge this. As a cricket, you have to announce it in the floor. Then what happens is people will not create their own assumptions. Oh, on these grounds, the message is very clear. If you are not talking anything, people will create their own reasons. So this is a work cultures kind of thing. It can be curbed. It can be easily addressed if the management has a commitment. So the people's managers need to understand these soft textures, and this is what is going to happen because AI will take care of your leaves, your attendance, and your whatever payroll, compensation benefits, whatever it is. Even trainings also it will take care of it. So more automation that will be happen, and more of the things that can be done. But these nuances, these soft texture issues will be handled by people only. Even AI cannot take care of those things, and people cannot be feeling about that. That touch cannot happen for them. That's where still there is a very good room for the HR people to grow themselves. That's where most of the people will ask me a lot of times, Ram Garu, what is the different kind of courses that we need to do, or the skills that we need to learn in the realm of AI, artificial intelligence, and the automation which is happening. What is going to happen for us? Robotics are also coming into this particular area. What we need to, you need to improve the counseling. You need to do a certification of the international counseling, people related things and all. You need to take care of the work culture building related things, whatever we are discussing right now. So these are all the soft related things, behavioral analysis, behavioral analyst, or whatever the courses that are available, so that which A cannot do it on a one-to-one. Okay, that human touch AI cannot do. Even if you ask AI, even ChatGPT, if you ask them what are all the things that you cannot do, however, whatever it goes under, it says that I cannot do the human touch related kind of things. I cannot do that. That's what it answers for. Also, it knows its limitations also. So that's where our role is changing from mundane jobs to attendance calculations and all, payroll calculations and other things. Those things got automated. What else you do? Employee relations. What else you do? Productivity improvement. What else you do? Building the work culture. This is where your core step in is possible. So there is a fathomable depth of work that you can do, which cannot be taken care of, which cannot be kabza. Nobody will do that. Your area, right? Great. Yeah.
Yeah, in the same, actually, I was been discussing the same with these days. I was been discussing the same topic of AI, how
Yeah.
AI is going to impact
Also,
our entire profession itself, because many of the people are saying that AI is going to take away many of the jobs and all. And people are very much afraid of their careers actually. In
correct.
this particular part, I would like to speak on particular point, like HR is the one who is not very much tech savvy actually. though there is lots and lots of automation happening, people are speaking about the software skills, tools, everything they'll be speaking, but still people are lacking these tech savvy kind of things. Technologically people are not so sound yet, and there are emerging technologies daily, and in particularly HR area, softwares are there, maybe the integration part is there, and even when you are the digitalization is also happening at that time, how to take care of those things. And many of the sessions, when we are taking up the training sessions also, people will be speaking about why we have to learn the basics. We have a software here, and if I know the inputs, then I get the output. But the basic thing is, even any of the software you install in your system, you need to know whether the inputs are kept in a right way or not, whether you have given the right numbers or not. If you are getting an answer by switching a number there, is it the right answer or not? If you don't know, in further case, if you are getting even one number of mistake also, that is going to take huge amount of your time to calculate manually. So at that time you need to know what is the input, what is even in the salary case or maybe attendance case. So if you want to ensure that we are getting the right payroll, or we are getting the right attendance sheet, right pay slips for people everywhere, as a HR, basics are very much required, and using the technology is also very much required. By changing what digit or maybe what particular row, you will get the right answer. You need to know there. That is a very minutest point, but we never care for those things.
Correct. Actually, this is about the knowing about the process or behind the wall, what is that is happening actually. It's not just only to input. If we give, we'll get the output. But the validation of the output is also very much important. I know that because you are also facing the same kind of a problem with the lot of payroll softwares and all these days. So I can understand, Lavanya, from where you are coming up from that. Good, nice. A nice point. I think I will quickly come to the what are the practices that needs to be there to address the stress, how to mitigate the stress, at what level that we need to do. We'll get into that. But before that, yes, raised hands, I would like to.
Yeah, so that is where
address.
I was to conclude, like, if I am not having the knowledge of the tool also, I'll be stressed out because I don't know how to get the right answer for my task over there. That is where it is also causing a kind of stress on HR people also today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody is including, but everybody needs to act accordingly. So yes, I'll hand over to Swaraj.
Sir, here I have I need to raise a point here. The thing is that recently a co-founder of an IT firm, he was telling that each and every employee needs to work for 70 hours to increase their productivity. Like 70 hours a week.
70 hours.
70 hours a week. Like he was telling that 14 hours in a day to increase the productivity to overcome the China in their productivity. In that terms, like how does it affect? Like it directly affects an employee regarding part of stress. Like what are the precautions do the organization need to take to control the stress management there?
Actually, I'm coming to that during my the last 5-10 minutes. I would like to talk about that. How to control the stress and where it is. See, where the sources are stemming up, we need to understand that actually. It is because of the one important aspect is expectations were not being made clear. And the people are not having the right tools and techniques, as Lavanya ma'am right now said that. The people are not having the skill sets which are required to be required, or enough of the skills are not there, then there is a stress is causing. And second thing is you cannot put them across into the workload too much. Workload is a fourth factor actually, which is causing too much of things actually. Too much now. 14 hours a day is humanly it's very tough for them to focus continuously. So you need to plan your work in a right way. So whenever you are taking a project or an activity or a task, you should be able to understand the plan. See, there is a program also that we are going to coming up with that. How do you manage your time, or mostly in terms of the estimations? So people are having, this is one of the very important concerned point in this work society today, that corporate society, people are not able to estimate correctly. So that's where a lot of stress is getting caused. It is your project, how much time it will take. It is the right kind of estimation that we need to put in. So what is the buffer that we need to take? What are the expected risks are there? And having 14 hours, Swaraj, is too much. Why don't the workload, if that much of workload is there, 70 hours is a week
in a
is
week, like which he has declared in the news itself, press itself, like
no.
co-founder of an IT firm.
That's too much of expectations on those
Yeah,
things. That's too much. I mean, from the human resource expert, HR expert, I don't. I'll call it as a rude
yeah,
cruelty.
cruelty.
We need to. So let's not. We need to increase that. The workload increases because of the number of milestones that they need to meet within the times. There's a lot of pressure gets built up. Work pressure will get built up. So we should not do that. So work-life balance, tools, skills, expectations, clarity. So all these things that we need to make it out. After that, we need to see that there should be some kind of a relaxation techniques also people should be able to do. You should not sit across, because physically also you will get a lot of stress, strain also will increase actually. After every 20-25 minutes, you should be able to uh, at least people will say 40-45 minutes, they'll say. But Pomodoro technique, one technique is there actually. So you focus on your work for 20-25 minutes, concentrated and a deep work that you'll do, and 5 minutes that you will relax. So any chair that you are ergonomically, the chairs are there where you have to come out of it and just stretch your limbs, and so that you will get some kind of a relaxation for 2-3 minutes, and take 2-3 deep breaths and make your breathing slowly, and you try to re-engage into the work, and so that the stress also physically, you will get that fatigue of muscles will not be there with you. Okay, so that needs to be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us
know that.
Okay. So that is there. So you need to stretch out meditation. A small 1-minute meditation is also fine to refocus on those things. So some kind of a small good habits, healthy food, right kind of a sleep, right. Don't take the chunk down your work. Don't take it at a bigger level, the higher task, another time limit. So these things causes you when you see the big picture, the visualization seems to be too much. It's overwhelming. Kind of chop down those tasks, the big task into smaller activities, and try to have those things. This is the practice that we do. Generally, what we'll do is, in our keep notes, we used to write down that to achieve that particular thing, what is the first step that I need to take? Second step, third step. So you chop it down in a logical way and complete one after the other, and get the sense of completion or a progress that you can see for that. And you can also go for that. And once the project or something has been done, and do some kind of a review of highlights and lowlights. Why things went, what are the things that went well? What are the things that didn't went well? And where the stress is getting mount up. Is there any planning problem, estimation problem, or expectations problems, or uncertainty, or any information that is coming out from the outside people, and all, whether it is coming on? So these are all the things that we need to look into. Of course, for the time constraint, I'm just wrapping up the things. So these are all the things that needs to be taken care. These are all the general and common causes for the stress, which are very much can be addressed quickly with the solutions what I told about it. And there could be some kind of a work-life balance also. As I told you, some festival or some kind of a ritual or get together that they would like to go for that. And when these people are stuck with the work, then automatically stress gets mounted up. The communication is the best thing. The best thing is make the communication better. And art of saying no is also very important, especially from the Indian cult. Employee people, they need to say no to it. Most of the people on the good note factor, they are unable to say no to it, and they're accepting. Once you are accepting, you're giving a commitment unknowingly. So don't commit too much for the things actually, right? And if at all such kind of things are there, you can ask which of the activities that needs to be given a prominence. You please suggest me. You can ask your manager when they are saying that no, you have to do this, and tell me which one of the things that I need to prefer more, or which one do you want me to low priority me, whatever the things that I would like to put it across to. You suggest where you are asking the person to give the solution for that. Oh, you're already occupied in that particular activity. Chalo, let's do that that particular thing. Or else keep it aside. It's not so urgent. Now take up this, whatever I'm saying about it. This requires needs to be given a higher priority. Then you will get a time actually. Otherwise, what happens? You'll simply accept for that. You need to meet the deadline as well as this one also. Where do you bring the time? The same person, the same number of hours that you have to put it across to. Then you have to burn your midnight candles, and you have to. The zone is coming into your personal zone. Your personal time. You are sacrificing your family time, your personal time. You are sacrificing to the work for that. That is where the stress comes. Do you get a right kind of a recognition? Do you get a right kind of a compensation for that? Immediate gratification or something else? Nothing as such. Sometimes most of the people will not get a good job done, some pat on back or something else. Nothing will be given. So people will get frustrated. They don't know how to say no. Learn how to say no. Clear? So there are certain practices that we need to bring into, so that what we can do is we can have these, the stress levels can be brought down to, and we can take care of it. One good thing that we are doing is every satsang that we are completing, we are coming up with an ebook related to that particular topic, talking about the best practices, talking about the challenges, talking about whatever we discussed actually. The summary of these things will be taken, and practically what is that can be practiced within the organizations. Those sets of materials also we are sharing with the people. So that will be given as a ebook or blog post or something else that will be there on this particular topic. The link also will be circulated to everyone. Yes. Whoever is watching this particular thing, or it is commonly available for everyone freely out of the publicly it is available. Yeah. Right. So stress is a big subject. Even 1 week, 10 days, if we discuss also, there's a lot of things that we need to address to look into it. But within the time, whatever that we can do, I think it's good enough. And I felt the conversation with Monica and Swarajesh, it's really nice. So even Lavan here also. So please summarize that, and please give a final conclusions and all. Anything that I need to speak, let me tell you. Please let me know, so that I'll also give a final words for that, and let's close this.
Yeah, sure. So that was a wonderful discussion actually, which is meaningful. Most of the things we have discussed, I think this creates a more value also, and it gives more of the the points also for people to think how the stress is being caused, as well as why and how we can address that also. Several
most of the times, I'm sorry, I'm barging in. Most of the times what happens is, if you create an awareness, oh, these are all the causes of stress. Oh, I need to look into it. Yeah, I know. Of course, most of the people knows about it. But at the right time, that needs to be recollected, and it needs to be articulated well. Then that awareness creates, the awareness itself can solve a lot of problems for the people.
Absolutely.
That makes them more confident. Where I am getting the stress as an individual, that I can see. As a manager, people's manager, I can see that in my team, right? As a business owner, that I can look into. So all the stakeholders will get a wonderful insights about this. Insights we can call it as. So insights that people will get it. So that is the objective of today's things. Of course, it's a very small capsule, but still, yes, this is very much very sharp and to the point. Yes.
Monica, do you have anything to say?
So, just to share one thing. Over all these conversations, and I was just recollecting my previous work experience and my friends' experiences, how they're working, even my friends or colleagues who are right now even working. So I was thinking how, when I start working, how I can manage my stress when I restart my work, when I resume my work. So few things which came to my mind was, when I resume to my work, I should be, since I have a good experience, or any employee who has a very good experience should be mindful enough. So when I'm entering into a company or when I'm working, I should be mindful enough to observe my surroundings, to be aware of my surroundings, what is happening around me, and to be mindful enough to play tactics over your manager, over your co-workers also. So this stress doesn't come even from the manager level or from the team. It comes from the co-workers also. See, every worker works to gain the confidence of the manager or the team lead so that they get promotions or they want to go on site and all. So stress is not just created by the workload also, but around from the surroundings also. So some employees might need benefits like they want a cab facility so that their commute stress goes down, or few need some food facility or a cafeteria facility in the company or outside the company so that they can have a good quality food. So I think stress is not just about the work; it comes from the surroundings also. So the employer, even if a candidate or the person is a fresher, I think the college has to teach, or the employer has to teach every employee himself or herself has to be very tactic enough to play around the surroundings to manage the stress. So whenever, because I have just one last point, ma'am. Whenever I listen to this stress management thing, it's always from the management side. How the management has to do it, how uh, the company has to do, how the HR has to work. Because after listening to all this, so many stress management news or this kind of podcast and all, so I think we have gained, the country is going so forward, every employee, every person, a citizen is going so forward. Why that particular person is not able to handle stress? Just play simple tactics, know what is happening around you, around yourself also. So just plan the day, plan the workload so that you're free of that work. I think this has reduced my stress now. When I resume to work, maybe I'll practice those stress management techniques. I can play tactics over the management and my co-workers so that they don't let me down.
Correct, correct.
This engagement doesn't happen.
True.
That's it. All the people are stakeholders, Monica.
Ah, yes.
Everybody
Yes,
is
right.
a stakeholder in the entire this aspect, because this concern topic itself is a very related to productivity. So everybody is concerned. So individual, the team lead, or the manager, department head. Then comes HR and the management, and the people outside also, people who are the consultants and other things, counselors, whoever comes into. So there is a lot of people's responsibility is there. It's not an individual or HR's responsibility itself. As you rightly said, don't point at HR or somebody else only to that extent. Even employee himself should be able to take care of the pressure. For them also, you have to be the enabler, because from the HR side,
Right.
so most of the times we will wear the hat of a HR people itself. So as a HR expert, will say that, yeah, you need to be empowered with the things. That's what I'm saying. How the stress comes and all, if you create an awareness for the employee at the time of, maybe after induction or something, whatever it is. So take some kind of a good time that you need to train them on a, continuously, maybe regularly, that you can put it across as these subjects and train the people, then let their awareness to grow. So that's where people need to be trained completely. Okay,
Yeah.
good point.
So
Wonderful.
it should start from academics itself, because people are not getting exposure to many of such kind of situations. Like earlier, they were been in a very systematic way. Like they are going to schools, they are getting almost all spoon fed, and then they are getting into colleges. And the major stress what they have will be the ranks what they acquire, so that they can get good colleges, or maybe they can acquire certain universities and all, and then they start. Acquiring more skills, and they want to get a job which is having higher pay package and all. And everything is a part of stress only. From the childhood itself, the stress is being impacting all the people, and slowly it is growing without their proper knowledge. Being mindfulness, that's where it actually matters. Right from the beginning itself, if we can find it out, like what is causing, why my child is behaving differently from all the normal people, why these kids are acting overly reacting, and all these things include this. So our concern is about employee stress. That's where we are speaking more about the work culture, the floor, how the HR, how the management and all. But If you really want to help any person who is really in stress, it's not a smaller thing. If you are having a headache on a particular day, that's okay. You can have a Saturday, have a half day leave, go to home and sleep. Or maybe you can sleep on your desk itself if your management is very much cooperative with you. Such kind of situations are also there happening on floors. I have seen myself in many of the companies where we go as consultants and all. But majorly the thing is, if you are feeling that a particular person is behaving rudely on the floor, if he is not being very much, calm on the floor. He is being silent. He don't respond for anything. He don't participate in anything. He don't even express anything. His work will be very much up to the mark or maybe lesser also. And he don't even answer for the questions what we ask, why you are unable to do this. If such kind of situations are not they are there prevailing there, we can also help the candidates, such kind of candidates, with a kind of counseling. We may not be the best counselors every time because they feel that HR is the person who is going to complain to the management. So let him go with some references. You can give some references of counselors. You can bring in counselors to the office and you can make them sit with them and you can discuss with them. And then we can have that kind of sessions which will not be revealed also. That kind of assurance need to be given to the candidates. That is what more important, because if somebody is going for a counseling, that will be seen as a sin on the floors most of the times. This is a mad person, this is an insane person. Up to that extent also people will be murmuring. So we need to assure we need to assure them that your problem will not be revealed on the floor. I will be helping you in the same area so that you can get out of it and you can come back on the work with the full potential. And this is the one which is there and I am there, you can trust me. That kind of feeling, if the manager and the HR, both of the people can give to that person, then yes, it is the best thing we can do for the people. So there are several practices we can go with, and these are certain kinds of practices that we can go with. As rightly mentioned by Ram, I'm now concluding the session. So with this particular point, we have discussed about why stress is being caused, who is the reason for that. No any particular person, everybody is the reason. At the same time, what is the solution? Everything is a solution. So stress is such kind of subject which can be discussed to any length. So now coming to this employee stress particular point, yes, there are several ways to handle now, and we need to change our thought processes and the systems and process in the organizations also, because these days stress is also being a part of the work culture. So let us make it as a strength. So how we can make it as a strength? Most of the companies, what they say is, when you are in stress, you can work more. You can bounce back. You can get resilience, and you can work more. That is what most of the people think. Even that is a human psychology also. If you don't have any monitoring on your head, self-motivation doesn't come from people. Most of the people, we see that self-motivated people are very less percentage in number we can find. And most of the people, they always look out for others to motivate them. The situations, the people, the management, the conditions, something will be there which motivates them every day, and they wake up and then they start doing things. So at that point of time, stress plays the major role. If the management creates that kind of stress, like if you are not reaching up to the mark, then you will not get the variable pay. So these are all the things also being playing there.
Correct.
Positive stress.
Yes. If it is for the positive and
Yes.
motivated related things, or we can call it as a something to strive for or thrive for, to that extent it is good. But the stress, when we are talking about the stress cannot become a stress unless until stress has been taken out. Then the productivity, the strength will come to it. Strength has to replace that stress. Stress is always a bad, because we are calling it as a stress, means that is going a little above, and it is a negative connotation. It is mostly a negative connotation. Stress cannot, as I rightly said, stress need to be a positive aspect that we need to take under. People need to have a lot of different maturity and different thinking, that altogether that people need to make it out. But what I'm saying is, here the people need to take, the managers and other people also need to see that the stress need not be created. The motivation that it needs, excitement, motivation, teamwork, and all these things, which can be replaced with this stress, can make the things to stress. That is what I can say, stress to strength.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that is it. We'll come up with that note ebook on this particular thing, what we planned for. So definitely we do that. Thank you all. I think
Thank you so much for all of
meet
you.
up with another topic maybe in the next time.
Yes.
Thank you
So
so
we'll come with other topics.
Like, sir, we missed a point here, like regarding the work from home or remote work or hybrid work. Why can't we continue this part in next week, in the coming week also?
Definitely, why not?
Like, little bit extending for that part. Let us continue the next week too.
We'll be taking.
Sure, we'll do that.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.